Week 11 is officially in the book, and as always, we're bringing you our top 10 waiver wire picks going into week 12. If you need some waiver wire picks, if you need some help on your team, whether it's due to injury, bye weeks, whatever the case may be, I have my top 10 waiver wire picks for you this week. There's no teams on a bye this week, but there is 3 Thanksgiving games, which is 3 Thursday games. So make sure you keep that in mind. Bills and Lions, Giants and Cowboys, and Patriots and Vikings. Let's get straight to the video. And at number 10, we have Demarcus Robinson. It's not a sexy name. It's not somebody that you're going to jump out and spend all your fab on the waiver wires. But if you do have an extra roster spot, if you do have some extra fab, whatever the case may be, why don't you go pick up Demarcus Robinson, available in 91% of leagues. Caught 9 out of 9 passes for 128 yards, over 21 fantasy points against the Carolina Panthers. So granted, it was against a bad defense, but at the same time, could he be stepping into a role? Could something be happening? Why don't you pick him up, stash him, and see what happens going into week 12. And at number 9, we have Donovan People-Jones, available in 44% of leagues. He's been doing his thing, man. He's a sneaky guy. Great wide receiver too for this Cleveland Browns offense. And we keep saying Deshaun Watson is going to be coming back here very soon. The last 4 weeks, scored over 10 fantasy points. This past week, 17 fantasy points, caught 5 out of 6 targets for 61 yards and a touchdown. Once Deshaun Watson comes back, which he is coming back, not next week, but the week after, in week 13, could Donovan People-Jones shoot up to, a top 25 wide receiver, where Amari Cooper is going to be a top 10, top 15 wide receiver? I don't know. Something special could happen there. So if Donovan People-Jones is available in your leagues, he is worth a pickup. And at number 8, we have Juwan Johnson, tight end for the New Orleans Saints, available in 69% of leagues. If you need a tight end, struggling with injuries, Kyle Pitts went down, Dallas Goedert's out, Zach Ertz also was injured, done for the season. If you need a guy, pick him up right now. Once again, available in 69% of leagues. This past week, caught 3 out of 4 targets and a touchdown, over 47 yards, over 13 fantasy points. He has scored a touchdown in the last 5 games. It is crazy how kind of consistent he has been in the red zone area specifically. He's finding that rhythm that way with Andy Dalton. And maybe if Jameis Winston does come back, this could be an even better opportunity for Juwan Johnson, because we just know Jameis Winston just throws the ball up and chucks it, and he can just give touchdowns to anyone. If you need a tight end, go pick up Juwan Johnson right now. And at number 7, we have Deshaun Watson. We keep bringing him up on this list because he is still available in leagues, available in 47% of leagues, nearly half of sleepers leagues. He is still available. And if you do need a quarterback, if you need a streaming option, a guy that has always been a top 5, top 6 quarterback in his career when he's on the field, Deshaun Watson could change and could be a league winner for you. Yes, he hasn't played in such a long time, but he has been practicing with the team since this past week. So as the weeks come on, he has 2 more weeks to practice, and then the game's on against his former team, the Houston Texans, in week 13. If you need a tight end, once again, of quarterback, available in 47% of leagues. He's playing the Texans, the Bengals, and the Ravens are his first 3 games. I think pretty good matchups for Deshaun Watson. So if you need a quarterback, go pick up Deshaun Watson. And at number 6, we have Taylor Heinicke. If you need a quarterback this week, available in 81% of leagues, Taylor Heinicke is playing the Atlanta Falcons going into week 12. Look, he didn't have the best game against Houston, but that was because they dominated on the ground, right? Antonio Gibson, Brian Robinson was kind of doing their thing, but they all scored on the ground. He didn't throw a touchdown. They ran the ball in most of the time in this game. Throw 15 for 27 times. There's opportunity for him. The Atlanta Falcons do give up a top 10 most fantasy points to the quarterback position, and this is, this Washington Commanders team is on a roll right now. So if you do need a quarterback in desperation, whether it's injury, whether it's bye, whatever the case may be, go pick up Taylor Heinicke. And at number 5, I have 3 players in this one take here, and that's the Chiefs. Sky Moore, Jet McKinnon, and Isaiah Pacheco. You can see the availability down on the screen. 83% for Sky, 61 for Jet, and 34 for Pacheco. Look, Kadarius Toney went out with a hamstring, and it's not that I'm happy about that, but it kind of makes sense. He's still injury prone. He's still getting injured with that, with the hamstring, right? Juju Smith is still out. McCole Harmon is on IR, so I'm not necessarily sure when he's going to be back, right? And then what's the timeline of Juju? So some of these guys could be relevant for your team right now. And if you need an opportunity, if these guys are going to get an opportunity, I think it's there. Sky Moore, once again, available in 83% of leagues, caught 6 out of 5 targets, caught 5 out of 6 targets, 63 yards, over 11 fantasy points. Jet didn't necessarily get as much opportunity as we expected him to. Only had 6 carries on the ground, was targeted once, caught that pass for no gain, only had 1 fantasy point. But if Clyde is going to miss some time, does Jet automatically step up, or is it Pacheco? We're not necessarily sure right now. So that's why I think all 3 of these guys are valuable. And Isaiah Pacheco did come in 15 carries for 107 yards. He did look good on the ground, so maybe he is going to get the opportunity, but he's not available in the majority of leagues, only available in 34% of leagues, but had over 10 fantasy points for a guy that has been probably sitting on your bench. So all 3 of these guys, in my personal opinion, if things do go right for them, whether that's injury, Juju's going to be out, Clyde's going to be out, McCole Harmon obviously is out, Kadarius Toney's going to be out, then Sky Moore, Jet, and Pacheco somehow fills into this role, right? So if you guys need an opportunity, go pick up any 3 of these guys. And at number 4, we have Darius Slayton from my beloved New York Football Giants, available in 45% of leagues. He does have a short week against the Dallas Cowboys. Once again, available in 45% of leagues, so he could be out there. This could be a good flex spot for you moving forward. Look, the last 4 games, he has scored over 13 fantasy points in each of one of those games, and he scored 2 touchdowns out of the last 4 games. So he's been relevant for this team. Has he been getting tremendous targets? No. But this past week, caught 5 out of 10 targets. So he was peppered with targets. Obviously, the Giants were down often in this game, which was why he was getting targeted a lot. But also keep in mind, Wan'Dale Robinson went down, and he could potentially be out for the season. They stuffed Saquon Barkley, and we don't have any other weapons outside of Darius Slayton, and Daniel Bellinger timeline is still uncertain. So if Darius Slayton is available in your leagues, available in 45% of leagues, he could be a good flex option or a low-end wide receiver 2 for you moving on. So go pick up Darius Slayton. And at number 3, we have Samaje Perine. Yes, he's not my number 1, but I'll tell you why. There's a couple other guys available, in my opinion, that could have a longer role, where I think Samaje Perine could potentially have a role maybe just for 1 week. Really just depends on Joe Mixon's concussion protocol and how the way the concussion protocols work now. Players, it feels like players can miss more than, just practice throughout the week. The player could miss a week or 2. We saw what happened with Juju, right? He went down, he had a concussion, he was out, right? He's out for a week. That one's pretty bad, but same thing with Joe Mixon. Samaje Perine available in 89% of leagues, so he's available out there. I think he will be a top waiver wire pick, so you're gonna have to spend some fab on him. But keep in mind and keep your ear out for Joe Mixon if he is trending towards the right direction for Sunday's game. Samaje Perine, 11 carries on the ground, 30 yards, caught 4 out of 4 targets and 3 touchdowns, over 30 fantasy points. He was a top running back this week. Can that happen against the Tennessee Titans? Potentially. But the only way it works if Joe Mixon is out. So if Joe Mixon is out and Samaje Perine is on your waiver wires, this could be a good start for you. So go get Samaje Perine. And at number 2, the guy I believe will have more opportunity moving forward is Rachaad White. Zach bought him as a buy low candidate, and he's kind of hitting the nail on the head right here with Rachaad White. He had a bye week in week 11, week 10. 22 carries, 105 yards, over 10 fantasy points. If he scores that touchdown, oh boy, it would have been a crazy game for Rachaad White. But hey, if you need a running back, if you are struggling with injuries, someone like a Joe Mixon, someone like whatever the case may be, Lenny Fournette looks like he's going to be losing his job. And maybe it's still going to be more of a gradual, a gradual turnaround with Lenny. I don't think Lenny is just going to disappear. Maybe it's 50-50, and then maybe the week after is 60-40, and the week after is 70-30. Maybe it's along those lines right after the bye week, but usually after the bye weeks, rookies tend to show out. This could be Rachaad White's breakout game, in my personal opinion. I know he had a good game last week in week 10, but this can be an even better game against the Cleveland Browns, who give up the 2nd most fantasy points to the running back position. So go get Rachaad White. And at number 1, the guy that's available still in 60% of leagues, who had his breakout game on Thursday night, Treylon Burks. He went off. He went crazy. This is one of Zach's favorite players. I like him. I'm not in love with him, but I do like him. He's turning my head and saying, you know what, okay, Treylon, keep doing your thing. Let's continue to see. Once again, his breakout game this past week, caught 7 out of 8 targets for 111 yards, over 18 fantasy points. This is exactly what the Tennessee Titans need. They need a pass catcher. You know, Roberto Woods wasn't doing it. Nikiti Westbrook-Ikhine wasn't doing it. There was nobody there outside of Treylon Burks, who was injured, and now he comes back right off of injury and does this. I think it's amazing. If you need Treylon Burks, it is a perfect opportunity, a good, potentially league-winning wide receiver, whether that's in the flex position or a low-end wide receiver too. Go get Treylon Burks. He's playing the Cincinnati Bengals and the Philadelphia Eagles, available in 60% of leagues still. Guys, this is my waiver wires, not my starts. It's my waiver wires for week 12. Good luck moving forward. Happy Thanksgiving. There's so much things going on. Some good football games on Thursday night. Once again, Bills, Lions, Giants, and Cowboys, Patriots, Vikings. I hope you spend time with your family. Be thankful, whatever the case may be. I'm finally going to America, so I'm going to be in a hiatus for the next couple weeks. Zach is going to be holding down, so make sure you show love to Zach, and I appreciate you, all you guys, and everything you're doing. Thankful for you guys. Happy Thanksgiving, and good luck in week 12.
Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos,
watch it.
You can also subscribe
right now
if you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/fantasylandfam.